From what I saw of the story, after we showed all you guys catch a fish, you make a good guide. No kidding.
John doesn't even know what a fish is.
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh.
He's got proof of it. Here you guys are when we got off, and at Whitehorse. And listen, let me ask you the question too. You fellows were never up in the Arctic like this. What did you feel here already? Was it? It's thrilling, isn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. Just amazing country. The scenery was amazing.
And
It was-
no, I mean the anticipation of going on the fishing trip, and then you were going up to Dawson City.
Oh,
It
it was
quite
just
a prize, I'll tell you.
fantastic. You never knew what to expect.
It's
Scenery,
and is this the first time in a bush plane too?
yes.
How's that feel? Especially
I
when
feel-
you're over those mountains.
It feels good now, but it felt awful before before we left.
You know, on that trip from Whitehorse in, you keep wondering why if you got pontoons, all you saw was creeks under you. There was no water. I'll tell you one thing though, Warren runs a good ship. He's got that plane is just like brand new and does a tremendous job. And they were all glad to get you fellas, and it was fun. Here's the
We're all
lineup.
getting out.
Huh?
Yeah.
This is the lineup. If there was a sheriff there, he'd have been asking who'd done it. Well, this whole story you're going to see today, friends, is actually going from boat to boat of 10 of us out there. We were out, but we were actually checking the boys because this was going to be their party. And,
And a party it was.
huh?
And a party it was.
It's amazing. How many fish would you boys say amongst all of you as we were getting ready to go out there? How many would you say was, caught, released? But how many amongst your 8 guys would you say?
Oh God.
150 for the day? Because this was
Yeah,
my
well, at
second day.
least.
I had to leave after this. You guys
Yeah.
came back later.
At least.
Now you got to name the guys because I didn't know them. But Dave, this is Warren and us. We're on our way out. As we get to the boats, you tell me who it is. All right? No, this is Welsley Lake, and this is whom?
Well, that's you and I.
Is it you and I
Out
there?
in the lake there, yeah. Now there's George and
Jerry.
Jerry Arbez.
Oh yeah.
Jerry's from Winnipeg.
Okay. Yeah, there he is.
There's a fellow, John Dean and Sean Heskett.
Yeah.
Now there's John.
There's Phil Timmons.
It's Phil Timmons from Barrie.
And who's running the motor?
Well, that's Phil running the motor.
And who was Bob?
And that was Bob York from Halifax standing
Okay,
up.
okay.
There's Sean again.
All right. Now, George, you were telling me he didn't catch or know what a fish was. You know, he's into one right way. He actually should get a prize for number 1 because I guess he catches the first one, no?
No, there I am.
There's-
Huh?
See?
Have you got one on too?
Sure.
There's George.
Yeah.
He's got that rod
See?
propped right against his stomach there.
Yeah, I was going to say it's in a precarious position for such a big fish. You had one. Everybody had one on as soon as we started fishing, I think. How'd that feel, boy?
Just great.
Huh? Yeah, there he's got one on too.
Phil's got one there.
Did you ever see anything so prolific?
Well, I'd say out of these 8 of us, I don't think there was anybody that's been up on a lake like this that have flown in and done fishing. And I think that was the attraction of one of the attractions of this trip.
Well, on Welsley Lake, if you're fishing, you shouldn't go 15 minutes without a strike. I mean it. If you're, of course, we hit the weather a little bit bad, but with that weather being nice, it's really there. Now, you don't have to be ashamed of a fish, and that was one of the small ones. Here's what he's yelling. Yeah, watch how dexterous he handles this thing. Not only did he do a good job of handling the fish, he did a good job of handling a bigger fish. as
And he
far as
caught
I'm
himself.
concerned. Yeah, that's what I say. He hooked a bigger fish. Oh, he's a funny guy. I enjoyed him. There you go.
There's a big one.
Georgie, there you go. Yeah. Hey, John.
You can slip that between a Ritz.
Well, I'm not going to make a decision. It's not for me to make a decision. We got all these people up at the lodge watching you guys in this contest. I'm going to let them make a decision whether this guy should be here legally or not. They were over just in back of us. Isn't it funny the way the pike would run along that one spot there, which was black water there, and every time you'd get one was a big pike, and if you were on the fringe of it, you got a trout.
Yeah, that was down at the back end of the lake. And here's Phil and Bob York, who I think after...
That's what I say. They were over in that black spot
That's
that
right,
you'd mentioned.
that's right. They didn't tell us about it till about a day later. I think they went out there and had some fun themselves. Wouldn't tell the other fellas about it.
Look,
Now,
now
there's
he's
Bob.
handling it very dexterously, too.
Not
One
too
of-
excited
one
about
of these-
handling that
One of
one.
these days, handling it that way, he's going to have a MEPS in the hand, I'll tell you. That's happened to me enough to be able to know how to handle them. The best part is to get behind the gills and just squeeze the gills in. Don't grab any eyes or under the gills because you could tear a gill and kill them. And when you squeeze it, you more or less paralyze them. And then you just remove the hook. And I will have to compliment you guys. I mean, jokes aside, you all squeezed the barbs and cut the third hook off of your lures. And you did. How many? Did you lose any?
I didn't lose one.
How about you, John?
no.
Did you lose one? I hope that fishermen, because you've never fished this way before, I hope they realize you don't have to have barbs. You just need a tight line. Now, John, let me ask you something. You're putting a claim to fortune. All I see you doing here is guiding. When did you catch that big fish that you claim entitled you to be here?
When the cameras weren't operating.
Oh, I see. When you came back after
I usually
we
catch
left.
the big ones. Trying that time.
Ah,
So that's the one that got away, though, John. There was one that got away.
Yeah, that was big.
well, I'll tell you, as this goes on, I would have to say that his greatest claim to fame was in the way he eats.
Phil Timmons will
Do
vouch.
you agree with me,
Well,
Dave?
we'll have to see. I think we've got something
George, what do
here.
you say, right?
I have to agree with you.
He earns the moniker of captain the way he dispatches that garbage.
Phil Timmons is my witness.
Well, look at the size of those fish, and every one of you guys were catching them one after another. I'll tell you, I think that Welsley Lake has to be one of the most prolific lakes there is as far as fish about this size, and that one's what, about 10 pounds, 12 pounds.
There it goes.
That's the one you have on there.
Yeah.
Now this is the part you guys really enjoyed. I had to show it because unanimously you guys said this was the best part of the whole trip. We had Dolly there and we had Wanda there. And Dolly is a little girl from college that works there during the summer.
All right. This is a
And
short one.
from here on, I couldn't get any of you to really fish hard because you left memories. And who ever has a shore lunch with champagne?
Flown in by the plane.
Yeah. And who was it here rapping on that bottle of beer?
That was
Ice
old,
cold beer, huh?
I think that might have been Phil Timmons.
There's Phil Timmons.
There he is.
Yeah.
Jerry, Warren, Bob.
Attaboy. But wasn't that wonderful the way they had that all prepared and they had the fish fried and they had the table all set,
Set up,
and
and,
it was real. I never had a shore lunch like this.
Wine on the table, and it was
Yeah,
just excellent.
you guys really hit the jackpot. Either that
Look
or
at
you, or you want your back awful bad.
There's a feast.
Isn't that something? And he keeps those tables out there and ready for shore lunches for everybody who comes out there so they enjoy it. They don't waste a lot of their time cutting up fish and throwing the guts and the cans around.
That's right.
Everything is
There's-
already. Take a look at this.
There's the shot.
Here is the captain. First he strains it through the fungus and then he inhales it. Look at that. That, you folks that are up to the lodge, always remember that. That's his claim to fame on this whole fishing trip. But don't that fish taste like something when you get it fresh
Fresh
out
from
of the
the lake.
water there? Huh? Hey, I'll tell you, there's a lot of comradeship and there's a lot of fun when you're on a place like that. The whole thing is a contest that Dave, my old fishing buddy, had. He's a had his salesman at the Panasonic people put this contest. 8 guys win, and then out of the 8 guys that won, the one who caught the biggest fish is going to be my guest sitting in the lodge here. Well, that's the story. We just had the shore lunch. The boys are back out fishing. I'm not going to decide who won. Let's let you guys that are here. Now, here you are, John. Now, this is your claim to fame. I want to see if this is the one that you say supposedly win the contest, and if you do, I put no confidence in your sales talk from here on out.
Well, Dave's taught me everything I know, so.
Who, he has? Well, no, he didn't.
That could be the biggest one. It's
Huh?
a 2-pound fish.
That one?
Sure.
No, that's bigger than that. I just see you sitting on your keister here. Isn't that you there?
I'm just relaxing.
I haven't seen George catch one yet.
That's yours. That's yours, John. That one was yours.
A big one.
Yeah, that's your claim. I'll tell you, it's pretty close to the one that.
There it is. There it is.
Look at
Oh,
that.
Phil's got one. I think they got the same fish there.
No. Everybody
No, it
had
couldn't be the
fish
same
on.
fish.
Did you ever see anything like that? Every boat had a fish on it. We were all within casting distance of one another.
I think what the fellas did here is they switched to light tackle too, just to
Oh, you
get a little
didn't
more
use
play
heavy
on
tackle.
a little more play on the rod. Look at that.
Talk to him, Daddy. Talk to him. Isn't that something? One on, one to go. What were you doing all this time, George? Is that you there?
There it is right there.
Oh,
There's mine right there.
That little one.
So, huh? That look little to you? Hey, man, you know that's a big one. That's a good-sized fish. Don't let him fool you.
It's a pike there.
No, I don't know. Oh, that pike was
That's-
the other guy's. This is a big fish. Not the guy in the boat. The guy on the end of the line, eh?
Yeah.
See? He caught pike all day. Every time I had a shot at him, he had a pike on. But they were good. Those were 12, 15-pound pike. This was a trout. You see, even a trout, they just stay down and roll, and then they roll up the line. They're not a fighting fish. Not near
like the
pike
pike,
or the.
Is that Phil?
That's Phil again.
Yes.
There. You can
Yeah, Phil's got that.
He's just a real old pro at taking the fish off the hook there.
Most of those fish would rather be on his line because of the way he handled them after they got in.
That's yours, there, Red.
Yeah, that's the biggie. Now watch how simple it is to pull the hook
There
out
it
and let
is.
the fish go. You haven't hurt him in the least bit, and I'm proud of you guys. You all did it. In fact, there wasn't a fish killed on that whole trip except the one you wanted as a trophy. Now this is Bob.
This is Bob
Yeah,
York.
that's Bob.
York, he got one on. Now he's got a pretty good sized pike on there. I knew he had one on because I heard him in the next county. Now he's handled fish before.
I think Bob's a big fisherman.
Yeah, where did you
from
say he was
Halifax.
from?
He's from
Yeah,
Halifax.
he's handled them before.
He lives in the country there.
You
and
can
I
see
think
that.
You could see that John didn't handle fish before.
Well, now who's the guy with John? I haven't
Well,
seen
that was
him.
Sean Hesketh. He's down from the Niagara district.
What did he belong to? The Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Fish? Huh?
At his age, you can't get in much.
Yeah? I didn't see him yet with one on, did you?
Well, he's the guide. He was trying to help John catch his fish, which I'm not sure he ever
Here's
caught.
the great white father, boys. He wanted to show all of you up. You never fished this good when we were out bass fishing.
Oh.
You showed me up on this one, old boy.
Well, I'll tell you, Red. I think half the time the fish knew which was your lure and mine.
There he is. He's finally got one on. He's a charter member now. I don't think anybody didn't catch any fish, did they?
No, everybody caught a fish.
And I caught the biggest.
I haven't seen him yet. You say it was the next day.
I got the trophy.
That didn't count. Is that the reason he isn't here? It didn't count because it only had to be while the camera was there and who won that day. And
That's right.
Yeah, you claim George got the biggest. I'd have to
right.
go along with you.
Yeah. There he is.
I think John mooched himself in on that seat. Oh, here's handsome.
Figure from Barry.
Is he from Barry?
Yeah, he's up.
Yeah?
So he's an old fisherman too.
Yeah,
Bob's got one
there's Bob with another one. Now watch how he handles this, George. I was telling you the right way to lift the fish out of the water. He's
Old
pretty
Sean.
good at that. Well, that was the fishless one.
Watch this
there.
one. There he
There
goes.
you
He lost it.
Watch this. This
Watch
is
it.
cute.
When the
yeah.
fish saw John, he just let go.
No respect.
you didn't help anything either, August Jaws. I heard what you said there to him, and you did. That's like putting salt on an open wound. You know that. The first fish he caught, and it was a winner. Did you see the size of that?
It was a fair size. Almost
Yes,
as big
it
as the
was
one
a
I
fair
got.
size. Oh, listen, we had a lot of fun that day. I'll tell you, the banter went back and forth. I was glad to leave because I was laughing the whole day. You and I, you know.
Well, I tell you, when after you left, we stayed on for about another 4 days. Went on to Dawson City, and then came back to the lodge and flew out to do some grayling fishing. And I'd say those 4 days, we had quite a few laughs, didn't we, John?
Oh, many.
Oh.
Many.
Oh, look at him, the hookless wonder.
He's gonna lose a finger.
I'm telling him that. I'm saying, get your hands away from that hook. That pike would have jiggled. He'd have looked real good, eh?
Kind of wish Phil had changed his
Here
clothes
come
once
the
over the
bad
week.
weather, and I had to get out of there before that bad weather hit.
Yeah.
I think Bob gets one here. He's pretty good. But
There he goes. He's pulling
you
on that
folks
one.
that have been up the lodge for so many years, here's 8 just regular guys up there with us catching fish one after another. I can't say anything more, but what a day. Wow. What,
Bob's got a good one there.
yeah. What's
he's
Barry trying to do to him? He's trying to cut the line, I think, because he figured this might be the winner. This is a good-sized
Good
fish.
size, yeah.
Yes, sir. And he handles it right. That's a big one, hey? Anybody catch one like that, you don't have to be ashamed of it. And there was a lot of those pike in there, too.
Just
In this
unbelievable.
one spot. Every cast you could get one in
That's
that
right.
one spot. There you go. See, now that fish
Now
is
he's-
paralyzed.
he's
He
got
isn't
a
even
beautiful
closing
hair.
his mouth. He's paralyzed. You get the hook out of his mouth carefully and release him. And that'll be 12, 15 pounder or more. That'll be a good fish. Good fish. You know, actually, I'd have to say from what I saw, he should be sitting here. That's the biggest that I saw.
Well, George has got one that he caught that was a good 18 pounds.
You sure you're not
he's-
playing favorites?
He's
huh?
going to get it mounted, and
Yeah.
we're going to be able to prove it to John.
Well, you know, after the contest, all of the guys got together, and I swore I was going to show what they thought of me. And we're here at dinner. I want the folks to watch this. Everybody's enjoying themselves. They could have anything they wanted.
The
That was part of
food
the
was
deal,
excellent,
wasn't
just excellent. I don't think anybody suffered for lack of food.
it? Or the taste
Especially-
of it.
and the
that
taste
Wanda,
was-
that Wanda could cook for the best hotels in the country.
Good home cooking.
I think I gained about 5 pounds while I was there.
And while we were eating, you could see the kind of nourishment the other 2 boys were getting. There was 2 of them there that was looking for more nourishment than was at that table.
Had the liquid lunch.
There's John. Yeah. John and Phil, they seem
And they
to-
want to point out what all of you thought of me
Yeah.
after I was trying to run a good contest with all of you. And here's what they thought. I got a hold of Jim, and I had a chance to go to the Whale River. Now, the Whale River runs, it's up east of Fort Chimo, and it runs into the Ungava Bay, which is right there, Jim, where the Hudson Straits and the Atlantic Ocean meets. That's Ungava Bay. So,
Way up in northern Quebec.
Yeah, we're in the Arctic there,
Going
yeah.
on.
And you were amazed they had these modern planes flying up there, you know.
I didn't think they'd go up that far north.
Oh, yeah. And they fly Resolute Bay. That's the end. That's the last. Well, then from there on is just the ice cap in Russia,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But anyway, we go from the main plane into the otter, the twin otter, and then fly into Elijah and Maywatch Camp. Now, at that point, what did you think, Jim? You've been up pretty high. How did you feel going in
Well,
there?
you know, Red, I have to admire these otter pilots because, there's not much up there to navigate, and I was a little worried when I found out that there's nothing much up there, but they did a great job getting us into the camp.
You remember, you know what the saying is, flying by the seat of your pants. Those
what they were
boys
doing.
got extra pants on, I'll tell you. 'cause
You're absolutely right.
They just fly VHR. They have there's no Omni or anything up there.
And, you know, it wasn't very clear. I mean, we had some clouds. As we
Yeah,
came.
we
Well,
didn't hit the best of weather until you were ready to go home.
That's right. Now, there's the whale, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the whale, and we're flying by. That's the landing strip for this plane. There wasn't too much real estate there. to
You're
land
absolutely right.
that
When I
thing
first saw that landing strip, I was a little worried.
But one thing about the twin otters, they can land and take off 550 feet. They throw that into reverse, and they're a good plane for up there.
And they did a good job, too.
And of course, the flying up there interested you a lot. You've never been in that area, then, have you, with the Eskimo and that
No,
country? Jim?
never have been up there. I've been in Canada, of course. My father is from Toronto, but I've never really been up in this part of the of Canada.
Well, it's altogether different. It's still back almost to natural. Of course, the Indians and the Eskimos now run their own camps. They own it, and they're their own entrepreneurs. And the Department of Northern Development, Indian Development, Northern Affairs, they train them and they teach them how to run a business, and that's what they're doing now. Here's Elijah's two little boys, and we were telling them what it's like when you went toward the moon.
I don't think he really believed that I went up to the moon.
Oh yeah, no, he didn't. He kept looking at you, because in there where you're thinking, hey man, you're supposed to be a god.
And look at the little girl.
Yeah.
She's wondering what it's all about.
What a beautiful setting that was, eh?
Oh, there's our campground.
That's right.
And these are the waders that I got.
That's right. You had to have waders because you were going to fly fish for salmon.
Yeah.
Well, we were asked by Emon to also do some hardware fishing or spinning for salmon because the Whale River is the only one on the coast that's open for spinning fishing and fly fishing.
And fly fishing.
Yeah, no other river. All the way down to the United States. You're must-use flies only. But it's so prolific.
Now,
And-
there's a shot of that Mylar jacket.
That's
That's
right.
a little bit of space
That's right.
age.
That came in handy.
That sure did.
But the one you really loved was this rain suit and combination deal, that barber outfit that you got. You fell in love with that
No,
one.
that's a fantastic rain jacket. There's no doubt about
Of course, I had so much loot to give you. I figured I might as well.
it. It was like Christmas up there.
Yeah, well, they all want you to wear their stuff,
Yeah.
I suppose you had a lot of that going up on a lot of these Gemini trips and
Gemini and two Apollo trips.
Apollos.
Yeah,
A
we had a
lot of different stuff they gave you to test, didn't they?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we had a lot of different foods.
Was
and
that
different clothes.
issue, or were you allowed to keep that stuff, Jim?
Oh no, we had to turn it all back.
Yeah,
Except
turn
my
it back.
flight suit. I still have that sort of beta cloth flight suit that I wore that was sort of fireproof.
That real good one.
They let me keep it. Yeah.
Now we're on the river going up in those canoes. Weren't those beautiful safe boats? They aren't making those anymore. And boy, I feel sorry because those were great canoes.
They take a lot of pounding too.
Yeah, they were called the chestnut canoes, and they carry Hogan. It's still snow on the ground. You were amazed at that.
Yeah, there was a lot of snow there, and it was kind of chilly. It wasn't real warm, even though this is summer.
Well, let's face it. When we went up there in August, wasn't it August? Yeah, it was August.
Was it August or July? Well, one of those days, yeah.
Listen, it wasn't too much before that. I went up there and got caught in a blizzard August 24th, a little bit farther north than that. We finally got into the mouth of the first rapids on the Whale River, and that's where the salmon lay to get their strength before they go up those fast rapids to the next pool. And that's where Sandy said, we fish here.
This is right below the rapids now that we're
That's
seeing
right.
right now.
That's right. Those fish have to climb that rapids to get back to their spawning ground. And I think it took you about 4 minutes to get into your first salmon.
That's right. Sandy said there were salmon out there. By gosh, we were using the spinning gear right now.
That's right.
And I did get a strike.
Of course, now you got to realize that you had the 6-pound line on that ultralight outfit. And
it was a big fish.
that's right. You didn't exactly horse them in.
Red, you got to look at the concentration on my face. I tell you, I'm really thinking there. I got my mouth open, catching flies while I'm trying to catch fish.
Yeah, but you know, I didn't know you broke your shoulder. You really, that was tough on you.
That's right.
And you did good there, boy.
This is the first time I was really out with that broken shoulder, and I'm holding with it my right arm. And
They'll
it
have
worked
to
out okay.
overlook that, Jim. Any guy go out with a broken shoulder has got to be out of his cotton picking mind. Look at it. Look at that fish jump
Yeah,
on
she
you.
jumped on me.
And when they go back to that fast water, there wasn't much you could do but hold on.
Yeah. And sometimes it just.
How
right
long,
up real.
Jim, before this did you bust your shoulder?
Busted it in December, Christmas time, skiing.
So you had a 6-month healing there.
About
and
6
that's
months
all.
healing. Notice
So
how I
maybe
keep
8
my
months.
arm in.
Yeah.
But it worked okay.
And you know what? Those fish treated you like an average quarterback treats a new defensive man on the other side. They went for your bad shoulder.
I know, they knew I was a novice.
You
in this
bet.
whole thing.
No, you weren't a novice. I won't say that. You surprised me. But I do want to say this. Later on, well, we spent about, after we caught these first fish here, so that you knew what the salmon was like. And this give you an idea. You can't horse them in. Sandy.
Well, Sandy's trying to catch it right now.
Yeah, he's trying to get it in. He
he's trying
wants you
get
to
it in.
land your first salmon.
And I didn't want him to get away, and I'm really trying to be sort of gentle with that
Isn't
fish.
that a thrill, man?
Yeah.
Isn't that a thrill?
Yeah.
You know, and I get a big kick out of getting some of you virgins up there and teaching, giving you that Atlantic salmon.
You know, once you catch that first fish,
Look at
there
that.
it is.
Look at that.
There it is.
Jim,
yeah.
your first
Look at that.
salmon.
First salmon.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
boy.
Boy, now I'm addicted.
Uh-huh.
Now you have me
Yeah.
caught. Look at that thing.
How long you think it'd take you to go back for some more?
Is the plane ready?
Beautiful fish.